All right, we're live. Give me 1 second, give y'all time to sign on and give me time to pin a comment. What's up, Chris? Hello, what's going on? I'm gonna figure out how to pin a comment real fast. And I did that. What's up? Thanks for signing on. The 10 Commandments, how's it going? Go ahead and post questions whenever you want to. I'll answer them here in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and intro a little bit. I'm Andrew Gibbs Dabney, founder and CEO of Livsn Designs. Coming to you live with another Q&A session on our Instagram page. This has been fun. The last two we did on a Friday went really well. I've been super happy with the amount of questions y'all have asked and the interest you've had in how we built this business, our products, the materials, our sustainability story, really everything about this you've been engaged with, and that's been really cool. We did move it after to, obviously from Fridays at noon to Sundays at 6, and here we are right now based on feedback from y'all. So I asked that question and we got a lot of responses directly in the live, and then put out an Instagram poll, and overwhelmingly y'all decided that Sundays at 6 p.m. were better outside of work hours and you could be here. So here we are, Sunday, happy hour. Grab a beer, do whatever you want to. Enjoy this. This is for y'all. The real reason that we're doing these Instagram live Q&A sessions is for transparency. It's a big part of a core value of the business that I believe that we're here at the grace of our customers, and without your support we wouldn't exist. And so with that, being a business in this day and age, we don't really have any desire to keep anything behind closed doors. This is an open book. This is me building this brand, and you're every bit of a part of it as I am. And so I'm happy that you're here. Feel free to ask questions about anything. So you can ask questions now about our apparel, ask about our products, ask about our marketing, ask how we find customers, ask about the supply chain process, how we found our factory, design of the pants, design of the fleece, how we choose fabrics. Any of those things are great ideas for questions and things I'm really happy to answer. If you want to get deep on anything, we can go deep on it. This is really for you. So come on and post those questions whenever you got them. And hey, nice. Thanks for joining in. What's up, Michael? So we really do these to give you a platform to voice your opinion. The other thing that we have, one more place that I'd like to really put on here make y'all aware of, which is we have a Reddit subreddit. And it's very small. We've got 26 subscribers now. If you're on that platform, you can go over and sign up and engage there. Along with these live Q&As, what Reddit does is allows our customer and our community to post topics, have discussions, do things without really our moderation, or I guess we're moderating, but we don't have to post it for you. So it's a place we can have real two-way communication. And I think that's something that's missing from a lot of brands these days, a lot of companies, is the ability for the customers to speak directly to the brand and to the people behind it and figure out what's going on behind the scenes. Everything's not just marketing. Obviously there's posts and stuff we put out. It's very curated, but there's also everything else that happens day to day in building a company. There's decisions that we're making, and we want your input there. I'll go ahead and lay out the full schedule for these. This is really, for all intents and purposes, our first live Q&A, which is why I'm doing an introduction here. We're going to be doing these on Thursday nights at 6 and on Sunday nights at 6 every week, at least for the next 5 weeks. And the reason being is we have something going on in about 5 or 6 weeks, which is another Kickstarter launch. And we want to be able to, over the course from now to then, answer any questions you have, get your feedback on our products, get your feedback on our business, get your feedback on doing business in 2019, and how conscious capitalism can be, basically how business can solve social problems, how we can do more than just make money, how we can really have a two-way communication between customer and brand, and really blur that line between we sold a product, now you own it, now it's your problem. We're really there to stand behind it for the full lifetime of that. If you haven't noticed, this live process makes me nervous, so I'm sure as we do this more, I'll settle into this process, and you guys can help me through that. So Sundays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. This one is an open Q&A, so you can ask whatever question you want. You can talk about whatever we want. And what that'll really, be the case every time we do this, but from now on, we're going to actually have a topic. And a lot of these times, we're actually going to have a guest on the show, because I'm sure you're going to get sick of seeing my face and hearing me monologue for 30 minutes every time. I wish we could have this conversation actually with not just text and me talking, but with y'all talking. But for now, this is how it works. So this is cool. And so yeah, we're gonna have people on board. That includes next week we're gonna bring on Chris Woolis, and he is in Portland. He's been helping me with design, graphic design, product design, just talking late nights and about the challenges of the business and the supply chain side of it. So he's gonna join us next week to talk about the people behind the brand. So you'll hear my story, you'll hear Chris's story, you'll talk about what us in general and what we're putting into this as a company and what our values are and how that reflects here. And then beyond that, we have other things to talk about that are interesting. So we did a Kickstarter video. We did a Kickstarter in itself. We'll talk about the process of that, what we did for our marketing, how we went on there, and then we'll talk about, we're going to bring on Black Elk Media, which I'm actually currently in the Black Elk Media studio / supply closet. It's just a good place where there's lots of plugins and private and very quiet, and sounds good in here. We may move the location, but this is their location. We went to Colorado for 5 days to shoot with them. They're going to come on and do an episode with me where they can answer your questions all about media, photography, videography. And then we're also going to bring in one of the Techstars, which is Techstars is a global venture accelerator that we actually went through down in Austin. We're going to bring in the managing director of that program to do an episode. And we're also going to bring in people from really well-known ad firms that we've been working in, branding agencies that are mentors of mine. We're going to bring in some more digital marketing people. We're going to bring in others that have been involved in this journey that are subject matter experts in different parts from the first time you guys saw us, which is on Kickstarter of last year, to where we're going this year, which is Kickstarter this year. So there have been a lot of people involved in that, and people that are very, very interesting and subject matter experts in their field. So it's not just going to be me. We're going to have topics, and we'll actually put those topics out to you ahead of time on our Instagram. So make sure you follow here, check out the posts. If you're on our email list, sign up there, because we're going to be repackaging these into videos where you can watch them later, and we'll be putting those on the email the following day. It's a lot of questions, or a lot of talking. So as far as questions, there's a few coming in, and before I answer those, I will just remind you that we can talk about anything that sparks your interest as far as entrepreneurship, apparel design, sustainability. These are things that I'm passionate about. Conscious capitalism, how business can be a force for good in the world. Basically anything that you want to know as a customer, this is your time to ask that question. And if for some reason you haven't gotten an answer via phone or email, ask it now. This is a time to really be transparent and do this for you. So with that, I've seen a few questions come through, so I'm going to scroll back up to the 10 Commandments. I love this guy. If y'all haven't followed the 10 Commandments yet, he is... if you like camping, if you like beautiful landscapes, and if you like dad jokes, those three things combined, which is definitely something that speaks to me very closely, great account to follow. So thanks for the question. Let's see. Hey, Andrew, what makes Livsn products more sustainable than other brands in the outdoor industry, and what do you hope your impact can be long term? Good question. Hold on. So to us, the most sustainable thing we can possibly do is build a very good product that is built to withstand tough use, build it durably, and stand behind it with a good warranty and help you keep it longer. So we look at this from, we'll get into all the material usage and things later, but from a very foundational point of view, there's a consumer mindset that is shifting and needs to shift faster, which is going from buying things because it's, you got an email in your inbox saying this is the hottest new thing that's going to be, in style next week, but you buy that, you wear it once, it's no longer in style, it's in the trash. And even if those companies that you're buying that from make that out of organic cotton or another sustainable material, it's still just a kind of buy it, wear, throw away, cheap consumerism mindset that is driving basically the apparel industry to become the second largest polluter in the world. So when I started this, and I talked, say we, because Chris has been involved in this for a long time, we prioritize that durability, versatility first, which means that we think we can own less. We think we have a lot of stuff that's not necessarily additive to our lives, and that if you have a slimmed down belongings, you buy less, then there's less impact. You have less carbon impact just from living your life. And obviously there are industrial and government and energy production and other things that lead to environmental sustainability issues, but it's all driven by consumer behavior. And so we're looking to lead this charge of buying less, buying right, taking care of it, and taking pride in what you own, and not just buying because it's the next greatest thing. So bringing that back, when we designed something like the Flex Canvas pants, it was built to be someone's favorite, really mine, and our people that were involved in this, like our favorite pair of pants that always works. Very durable, very comfortable, stretchy so that it moves, so you can not only just use it sitting in an office, you can get in and out of your truck, you can climb, you can do anything you want and not get restricted in movement that way. And so with that in mind, there's other realities of small business, and especially small business for apparel, that we get affected by. And this will come up in our Kickstarter campaign that you'll see later, which is that we're going to need your help to get to minimum yardage requirements to use some of the more eco-friendly materials. So if we build something in our mind very well built, very durable, very sturdy, and that it serves its purpose very well, and you want to wear it all the time, and it allows you to own less because you've now found your favorite things, such as the Flex Canvas pants for me and a lot of our customers, then you don't need to go looking for another pair of pants. You don't need to buy 2 more that year. You found yours. And if you have an issue with it, we actually offer repair and replacement programs. So that means if you rip your knee, you send it back to us for the same cost that it costs us to repair it. We'll send it back to you. Those pants may no longer be your office pants, but now they're yard work pants, they're hiking pants, they're climbing pants, they're things, they still have life. And we're just trying to get people to not throw things away needlessly, to keep their belongings longer, keep their pants longer, keep their jacket, keep those things out of the landfill. We have a minimum, it's called an MOQ, a minimum order requirement, as far as fabric yardage for the Flex Canvas fabric to get to organic cotton and recycled polyester. We weren't able to hit that MOQ on our first run, even though we wanted to. That means that we didn't have the finances really to just go buy a lot of this fabric that would have been wasteful in and of itself to make it organic and recycled. So we went back to our core value of let's make it as good as we possibly can, and then we're going to work to make that out of sustainable materials in the future. So this Kickstarter that we're going to have in July, where we're going to relaunch version 2 of the Flex Canvas pants with all of your edits, all of your feedback, is actually going to be like our number one. It won't be the first stretch goal because that's not the way that it works as far as what we're offering, but our main stretch goal we're going for in that campaign is to hit the minimum order requirements to make it out of organic cotton and recycled polyester. And once we do that, we can keep that flywheel turning, keep making products more and more green. On our Flex Canvas, or not Flex Canvas, on the high wool fleece, we were actually able to make that out of a recycled polyester, high loft body, and then a wool and recycled nylon stretch panel, which is really cool. So I think it's, I don't know the exact figure, but close to 75% of the materials in that are recycled. The other 25% are natural. They're wool, sustainable wool. So we hit it with that product. It's actually that way on the back end of the industry with a lot of things, depending on what you're making and who you're sourcing that fabric from, what the fabric actually is. Some supply chains are more mature for environmentally sustainable fabrics, and so when I say more mature, it means that when they start off, it's okay, we'll make that for you and we'll make it to your spec with this recycled polyester made from bottles or recycled nylon made from old fishing nets, but you need to order 10,000 or 20,000 yards. And so for us, 1, it's wasteful to buy that if we don't need it. 2, we can't hit that. So whenever we get to the point of putting in orders for different materials, sometimes when I say more mature, there's an industry in a mill that's been working on sustainable fabrics for years and years and years, usually led by Patagonia or another more sustainable outdoor company. And so they've actually developed the supply chain, they've got the machinery, they have the raw materials on hand, the grades for those fabrics, and so those minimums are lower. They'll say, okay, now we'll do it for you for 500 yard MOQ, and we can do that. So it's variable, it's hit and miss. There's realities of being a small brand, but our goal is to have as environmentally friendly, as low impact product as we possibly can, as soon as we can. If we can't do it on the front hand from a materials point of view, to us that's okay, because we're building a product that is built to last, it's built to serve its purpose, it's sustainable on many, many levels because our customers are using it in a sustainable way and we're building it that way. So long-winded answer to your question, Kim. Thank you for asking. Any more questions? I'm going to keep answering these, but keep throwing them in there. Let's see. Did I watch the Patagonia short? I did not. Sorry, brought that up last week, and I really, really want to. I'm going to make a point. I'm just going to, here, hold on. I don't know if you guys ever know it, but it's something that I would be lost without, so I'm going to put it on my to-do list. Sure. I'm going to watch that on the hemp. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about from last week. What up, Tuck? All right. We got Lil Nate. Let's see. Absolutely love the pants and was looking to grab some of the olive, but there aren't any in my size. Is there any chance you'll be getting more 33x34 soon? Yes, in the sense that we're actually going to run another Kickstarter here in July. We're gearing up for that. That's what it's going to take, your support to get us to get to this next run of production. We've not only are we just going to offer the sizes and the availability and demand that we aren't servicing now because we're out of inventory. We've made those pants better, and we're going to go over this as we go. But we've made adjustments to fit, we've made adjustments to construction, we've made adjustments to pocket size and placement. We've made changes to the button to make it higher quality. We've done a lot of things, and then we want to be able. We're going to do a DWR water repellency. We're going to our ultimate goal is to do organic cotton recycled polyester blend on that fabric, and then we've also got stretch goals for more colors, more inseam lengths, and more fits, and we're going to need everybody's help to get there. So yeah, we should be able to do that, but we're going to need your support on that Kickstarter to get those 33-34s in stock again. Mac Welding Fed. What was the pair of pants you wore but finally decided something needed to be designed different? I don't want to, I've had a few different, favorite pants over the year. What really, I don't want to call out the pants that I wore all the time before I designed my own, because they're a very, they're a competitor pant. They're very well known in this industry, and people that are out in the outdoor space know the pants that they'd be. They are a cotton poly blend. Actually, they're a cotton nylon blend with spandex, kind of like ours. So they're synthetic, they're cotton, they have some pocket placement, they have some stitches that don't exist. Stitches that don't actually have any function, which is a pet peeve of mine. So they have a mock double knee, which bothers me, so that's something. But as opposed to really talking about the shortcomings of those, I'll talk about something that maybe is unexpected, I guess, and if some of you are into this, I think that, I know some of you are, but raw denim. So I got into it's probably about, 8 years ago. I was always into denim and wore Levi's, and I got into the shrink to fit, and then I did the traditional raw denim kind of spiral down to Japanese bespoke, fully custom jeans that were with hidden rivets and handmade and like kimono fabric pockets and really beautiful design features. Those pants and jeans like that are built to last a lifetime if you take care of them, and then they're built to be repaired. So you don't buy a pair of pants like that, get one hole worn in the upper thigh, and then you don't repair it. You repair that because you put an investment into those things. Wearing pants like that were designed by people with so much passion, where basically you turned it inside out, you looked at the inside seam, you look at the pocket construction, you look at every single detail, and you knew someone's been over that, and they made a choice to build it that way, and they did it because they care, and they built it because they have pride in what they built. That's what I'm taking into the outdoor apparel industry and into apparel in general, which is that attention to detail, which is, clothing is expensive. Clothing is intimate. Clothing is something, it's what you wear every single day. If you're in a nudist colony, then, hats off to you. At least you're not wearing a hat. But, to me and to everybody else, you don't really have a choice. You're wearing it every day. And so I don't really think it should be an automatic decision based on what is the latest thing in your email inbox or what so-and-so influencer told you to do. This is what I choose to put on to reflect my personality to the world. I'm making a big investment in these things, so I'm gonna take pride in it. And so we're building products for people that think that way. Every bit of these flex canvas pants I've thought about, like the seam construction on the inseam versus the outseam. It's different. There's a reason for that. The pocket bag material is mesh so that it breathes. We put the little leather washer behind the shank button, the top button, so that it wouldn't pull out over time. If you pay attention to how we place the bar tacks on the pockets, they're placed there so they don't rip off. They're double bar tacked. The back pocket placement, a lot of outdoor brands like to put, this is going to be a weird hand illustration, but a lot of outdoor brands especially, and some raw denim too, like to put the back pockets very straight up and down, like this. That makes you look very, especially if you're a skinny guy, it makes you look like you have literally no butt. It doesn't look good on anybody, even if you do. So if you notice, Levi's and other fashion brands cock those pockets out like this. So they're actually following the outseam, so the back pockets run down, which is the shape of your body as you go through there. I believe that clothing should follow body lines, and clothing should accentuate your body lines and make you look better when you wear it. That's the the kind of design that we're bringing to the outdoor industry. So we bring the stretch materials, the really YKK lockdown reverse coil zippers, the amazing features, gussets, articulation, roll up system from the outdoor industry, but bring that level of fit and attention and refinement and care and high construction quality to products that typically don't really prioritize those things. And there's not really any reason why you can't prioritize both. Given that you have a low SKU company like we do. So we're not working on dozens or hundreds of products at a time, we're working on 2. And that's the Flex Canvas pants right now, and then the derivatives of that and other things we're working on. But like, we have the time and the ability, because we've narrowed down our focus, to build very good products in those things. So I'm not going to answer your question, to not answer your question again, I'm not going to talk about the pants that drove me to make new ones, because they're well known, and that's not the way I like to do things. But I'll just say that there was not a pant comparable to the Flex Canvas pants that was out in the market that fit well, that performed the way I did, and just had the style and everything. And I tried a lot of them, and they're just not there. So we made it. And that's a big value of mine, is not building something that we don't need to build because it already exists. All right. Let's see. The Josh Foster. Hey, man. Hey, Andrew, have you considered offering more sizes in your clothing, pants specifically, that hit taller and thinner clientele? Yes. So we want it. It's a balancing act as a small company. When our first run came, we could only do one fit because we only were able to hit the minimum amount required to create that run. So we actually chose, it's kind of surprising that you said thinner, like we actually chose a slimmer fit, because that's once again, a thing in the market that doesn't really exist as much. You can kind of get your baggy, relaxed fit from a lot of different brands, but slim fit's harder to do and harder to nail, and so we decided to take that on. But as far as taller, there's some things we can do at a low production amount where we can actually offer more variability in inseam length. So we can do basically a double cuff where it's an inseam, it's a one length of pants, say it's a 34 inseam. We actually cuff it like it would be normally, and then fold it back under the pant and stitch it one more time. So it's a little bit thicker of a cuff than it would be otherwise, but basically we've made a size 32 inseam pant when you buy it. And then what you can do is take a stitch ripper or a knife or anything and take that one seam out of the cuff, pull it back, and you've already got a cuffed 34-inch inseam. So we can actually have some variability in there with a small unit run. That's something that we are planning to do with the next production run if we don't hit high enough minimums to offer 2 inseam lengths. Ideally, what we have is a slim fit in a 30-inch, a 32, and a 34. And if you're over 34, then we're going to have to talk. But because it's very, very rare to have somebody with 34-inch plus inseam that needs it, so it's hard for a small company to make products for that market. But that's where we want to be. We also would like to be able to offer to people that don't have as slim of a build as a lot of our customers do. So we have an athletic fit that we've developed that we'd like to be able to offer if we have the high enough adoption in our Kickstarter once again, to where we can hit those order quantities where we'd have basically a similar leg opening and taper at the bottom, but more room in the thighs and hips to accommodate someone with an athletic build. So thanks for the question. The 10 Commandments. Again, thanks, man. For distribution, are you focusing on direct to consumer, or are you looking to move into retail wholesale as well? That's a good question, and this gets into some more business strategy, which is a cool place to take some of these the live sessions, because it's interesting to me and we can have really good conversations, and I want your input on this. We are direct to consumer focused. Right now we're direct to consumer only. The only place you can buy Livsn designs on our website or on our upcoming Kickstarter, which we're going to need your help on. You're going to hear me say that a lot because it's something that I want to make sure that gets drilled in, because we will need your help there. But we are direct to consumer. When it comes to business, strategy and a consumer brand and a brand in general these days, that's hot. It's they say that you cut out the middleman, so you have lower prices. There's a little bit of truth to that, because you're not supporting literally a retail chain that needs to profit off your items as well as you in the middle and pay their employees, but it's not nearly as much as people say. It's not half the price. You don't save that much, and you still need a high margin product, high quote unquote, in apparel, to support a sustainable business that can continue to grow and invest in its people and new products. So with all that being said, we are a direct-to-consumer focused, omni-channel brand. So customer acquisition cost online is high. We're not seeing super high conversion cost, from a Facebook or an Instagram ad to a customer, but eventually that typically goes up. Hopefully we can buck that trend, but basically, and this maybe get a little bit too into the weeds as far as the business side of it. It's all about how you can sustainably grow, how you can grow without massive cash issues, and to me, like, sustainably growing means that we're not compromising on product quality, we're not compromising on our communication with our customers, and so eventually direct to consumer can become very expensive to acquire customers online because you're competing with everybody. Good retailers are good retailers, and good retailers will continue to exist, especially in the outdoor industry with specialty retail. They're having a hard time, but there's a very big benefit to being able to go into a store, touch a piece of clothing, talk to a person who is ideally an expert in the field of either apparel or gear in which they're stationed in that store, so they can help you into a new brand, they can help you into products that are good for what you need. And so with stores like that, we're actually looking for partners that really value customer experience, they value education of their workforce, and they value really the in-store special experience of a good retail store and creating that experience for people. We're a brand that says we value experiences more than stuff, and shopping can be an experience. So it's a long way of saying that we're direct-to-consumer focused. We will continue to be that way for a lot of reasons. Namely, we get this one-on-one conversation with you. We know who our buyers are, but we are looking for good retailers to partner with. We eventually want to have our own brick-and-mortar stores that can be a showroom and an adventure point and an education point and a place to communicate with you. So here you go. Black Elk Dan, what's up, Daniel? Can we expect to see these lives uploaded to YouTube for viewing or listening to later? Great question. Totally not placed to be able to do this answer. We are recording these. We're going to record them. We're going to put them on YouTube. So if you missed these, if you want to show your friends, these will be up there within a few days after each live session. We're going to share the link in the email that we send that corresponds to the days of these lives. So on Thursdays and Sundays, we'll send an email in the afternoon reminding you that the live's coming up with a recap and the video link to the last one. And we really need your help to get more people to sign on to these, to get involved, to ask questions, so that we can spread the word about Livsn and what we believe in. And I want to hear your opinion on everything. Finigla, that's Chris. No hats in the nudist colony. 10 Commandments, free tagline, get a better looking butt and Livsn. Thanks. Then the back pocket thing was a thing. Like in production, we kept getting samples that had the back pocket aligned with the, I have some pants here. These are actually shorts. Sneak peek. But the pockets were aligned with this seam. So you can see how they're not, like they're aligned. The pockets right here are actually closer aligned with the out seam, which is where they should to get that good silhouette back there. But I had to draw a lot of drawings and really harder than I thought to get that message across during production. Let's see. Thoughts on Uber, Lyft strike, companies paying workers less than minimum wage. I'm not very familiar with what's going on with Uber or Lyft or the strike. Unfortunately, it sounds like there's a strike. It sounds like, I don't know. I can't really speak outside of my lane here, but I'll speak somewhat broadly on paying a living wage, and this gets into our internal business philosophy and what it takes if you if you come work for Livsn and you become one of our employees one day. I really believe in paying people more than what they deserves, not the right word at all, more than what they expect, and letting them work up and live up to that that level, and then give them the chance to succeed, as opposed to pay as little as possible, keep look at employees a liability. Employees are an asset, and employees at a company like ours are going to be the brand. There's a reason why it's mostly me right now. It's mainly budget, but it's also like we got to bring in people that are actually going to be passionate. They're going to be people that you want to see involved. They're going to make good decisions on behalf of the brand, and I fully expect people like that are going to cost more than anybody else. And if it's costly and demand a higher salary, in which case, if we can pay it, we will. And I'd love to always figure out how to pay employees more as opposed to cut costs in that area. There's other places where you can be efficient, and a good employee leads efficiency. All right, the 10 Commandments. What's been your biggest challenge? Sorry, my shirt's giving away. In growing Livsn, funding, marketing, production MOQs, etc. Biggest challenge. There's been so many. Production MLQs are a big one. The factories that typically say yes and will give you the low minimum, order quantities are typically not the ones that you want to be making your products for the long term. And you see this a lot with brands where they'll come out with a pretty okay product. They've got some traction, they go on, and also they need to scale, and they can't because that factory that did their low run production can't do more than a low run. So all of a sudden they go cross source. In a hurry, find a factory that'll do it. A lot of times it's someone that has higher MOQs, lower quality because they didn't do that on the front end. So with us, that was a big challenge, was finding a factory that one would have a reasonable MOQ but build a very high quality product and be able to scale with this when we need to scale. And we found that. So that's been a big challenge. It took time, it took a lot of money. Marketing dollars to spend is hard because raising capital for a new business is hard. Banks typically aren't scrambling to fund your idea, right? SBA is restrictive. It's Small Business Administration loans, and it has a lot of rules on that, and it's debt based on a business that has a little bit of time between initial spend and cash flow, which is apparel with a longer lead time. So that all being said, it's a very great business, and the margins are right. The consumer, the market for it is good. Obviously, if you make a good product, there's always someone that's going to be willing to buy it. And if you make a good product, then that leads into better marketing spend, more efficient business, lower churn. So people just saying, I'm not going to buy this again. Lower customer acquisition cost, better relationship, more repeat purchases. So to me, I look at this very foundationally. We need to be a brand that speaks common sense. We need to be a brand that does things right, that does good in the world, that creates a sustainable product, and that adds value to the world in many different ways in our product. And we need to build the best product we possibly can, so that you guys are satisfied with what we make, and we don't have to go acquire 3 new customers to replace you because you are now a loyal customer. And then we're going to stand behind that product until it possibly can't wear it anymore. When you finally need one, we'll be there for you because we still make that great product. Other challenges has been just marketing, definitely hiring or finding people to help out at this stage and financing it, and then just customer reaching different people. You guys are here. You're you're amazing. Thank you for being here and listening to this and tuning in. But it's a competitive world on the internet, and it costs money to be there. So we've been able to effectively use Kickstarter. I think we're going to be able to do it again. And we're also, obviously out there raising funds in other capacities too to go do this. But it all starts with you, and you guys can help us do whatever we possibly want to. And I think that if, my goal or my hope is that by bringing you in and helping, shed transparency, see who I am, see what our values are, see what we want to do. This is me right now. This is me and Chris, and we have an outsourced team, but this can be so much more, and I think it will. And we have products, and we have a brand that deserves to exist, and a company that I think is going to be amazing. And so we have products that can support that, and I think we can do it. I'll go on about that, but Black Oak Dam, will Livsn sponsor my Gran Turismo esports career this next season? If not, what sports would Livsn sponsor if possible? Black Oak Dan is Daniel from Black Oak Media, this is their studio. So not just a troll, he's just a loving one. Yes, we will definitely allow you to put the Livsn logo all over that esports career. As far as sports that we would sponsor, we're looking for people that are living their life to the max, and not in it's a weird way to say that, but people that have figured out how to manage work-life balance, have a fulfilled life, and do the things they love. And as far as sports go, we would probably be in the mountain biking, fly fishing, kayaking, climbing, competitive, long distance hiking, and backpacking and ultralight. Those kind of things are things that are passionate to me and things that we'd probably move into as far as sports go. But really, we're just looking for people that are living their life. What country is your factory in? It's in Vietnam. Vietnam's actually one of the best places in the world to produce for technical apparel. USA has some of that, other places have some of that, but Vietnam is where you go to do that, and we have a factory. If you look back in our chain, you can see the working conditions, the people that are building it, and I'm happy to answer any more questions on that, but it's a great place to do it. All right, I'm going to do one more question so I can wrap it up. We always want to try to keep these around 30 minutes. We'll go longer, we'll go shorter if we need to, but Jeff Goforth, what is your personal background in the apparel business? So I actually worked at a company called, before my initial interest in apparel and that kind of raw denim story I told you about where I got into the construction of it, I worked for a company called Fayetteville Clothing Company out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, where we are now. Lifestyle brand built by one of my friends in college. My roommate joined up and he was the VP of sales. They brought me on because I had just all of about a year warehouse experience to do operations. Came into that business, really quickly dove into the direct-to-consumer side of our fulfillment, going into packaging, shipping, fulfillment, inventory management, those kind of things, the nuts and bolts of the apparel industry that I know how to do now really well, that are the less sexy, but they probably lead to the downfall of more businesses than most people would like to admit. It's not the brand, not the product, it's just the fact that they can't manage the process. Went through there, became the COO of that company, so really controlled a lot of the moving parts, had a lot more hand and direct relationship with the marketing side, and then really worked in product development for a couple of years, working closely with Chris Woolis, who's a part of this now, where we would ideate from general conversation to sketch on paper to a full product being produced overseas or in the United States and bringing it to market, and really saw the whole back end of the apparel industry. We made about every mistake that you possibly could, which definitely lent a lot of experience to going into this, knowing where we needed to invest first, what kind of factory we needed to have, how to get things through customs, how to properly label. That definitely the supply chain on the sustainability side gave a lot of experience there. I ended up becoming the CEO of that company for about a year and a half. The founder, a friend of mine, took up a long trip in a Sprinter van and lived the brand and really went out there and did it. And during that time, I ran the whole company, about 25 people. And gained even more experience. We showed it outdoor retailer, I think, 3 or 4 times, and went to different trade shows and really saw manage all the moving parts of an apparel company, from production to sales to our retail store to everything. So that's where I got the experience on that. And okay, I said one more question, but this one, he asked about when the fleeces are going to be shipped, and they hit LA last week. They should get here this coming week. And we're actually going to ship those out as soon as we can. So expect those in June for sure. They're going to come, and we're going to do that before we do our next Kickstarter. So thank you very much for joining in. I really enjoyed this. Have a good day. See ya. Bye-bye.